Hey fellow travelers, it's Mickey Gold. Wanted to discuss with you today quarantine. Now, since the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus a pandemic, we all might be looking at some point being quarantined in our house. So what can we do if we're not seriously ill to make this be something that's a little less difficult? So I had some ideas and thought maybe you might too. So if you want to say some comments down on the bottom, I'd love to hear your feedback. But it's just going to be kind of an informal video. Things to think about is, while it's great to have toilet paper and it's great to have Purell, once we're in our house for 2 weeks to a month, Purell is a little less important. And I don't know about you, but when I was a child, my parents used cloth diapers. So just a thought, we all have old t-shirts, and I know that sounds gross, but if you have all the time in the world on your hands for 2 weeks to a month, cut up some cloth t-shirts. If you're a female, one for the front, one for the back, wash them out just like we used to have to with cloth diapers. There's all sorts of little tiny things like that. One thing to think about is food. It's really important that we have enough food for your needs. And this is going on the case that we've been exposed, but we're not necessarily sick. Because if you're sick, whole different world. But one of the things we went and stocked up on, we got brown rice and dried beans. And we got a lot of brown rice and a lot of dried beans. And that should help keep us healthy and balanced for quite some time. And we we're vegans in our house, and I'm gluten-free. So I have some things that I kind of have to avoid. But if it's for you and you have different needs, you kind of want to look at your basic needs being met. You might not be eating all the little snack foods you normally eat, which is okay because, again, we have a lot more time. You know, in a world where we're rushed, we eat a lot of nutritional bars and a lot of shakes in our house because our jobs require us to be busy all the time. So the other thing I thought about, besides brown rice and, dried beans, is if you aren't vegan, stuff like lots of flour, lots of sugar, and learn how to cook. This is time to get a bunch of recipes and bake something, maybe once a week. Have enough flour that you could weekly bake something cool for yourself or your family, and it's going to be more if you have kids, and maybe if you have kids, get your kids involved with this planning. Because the thing with planning is if we plan, we won't be in fear. We can plan and avoid the fear, and we could actually maybe even kind of look forward to stuff. And I feel as though if we look forward to, like, I have so much stuff I can do and this is going to be awesome, versus being afraid, it might not even happen to us, which is something we prefer. So flour, sugar, dried milk, if again you're not a vegan, would be great. I had the thought of too, pies are really easy because the fact that you have basically most pie crust are made with vegetable shortening and flour and just a pinch of salt and sugar. It's been so long since I've made a pie, but you can get canned fruit filling, and so you could have, like, say, once a week, have a nice pie, to break up the monotony of beans and rice or SpaghettiOs or whatever you're eating. But try to go for stuff that stays for a long time, that is going to be healthy, because you want to think about too, making sure your nutritional needs are met, and that you won't be as active because you'll be in the house, unless you're like me, where I have quite a bit of workout equipment in my home, because besides being an aide at a physical therapy office and teaching yoga, which I wouldn't be if I was quarantined, I'm also a personal trainer and a Pilates instructor, so I have a Pilates reformer. I have a bunch of other equipment that if I'm not sick, then I can be working out. So anyways, the other thing to think about is getting yourself an Instapot. Now, I'm not being paid to, say Instapot, but Instapot is really great if you definitely have not a lot of cooking skills or ability, especially if you bought a bunch of dried beans. They make it really easy. But again, if you have lots of time, you might come out of this after a month a chef, you know. Let's see, what do I have on my list? Oh, make sure you have plenty of washing powder or alternatives for washing powder. I have sensitivities to smells, so we've come across lots of different things you can use for shampoos, for soaps, for laundry detergents, because sometimes it's really difficult to find unscented washing stuff, whether it be for body washes, whether it be for your laundry stuff. It's getting better and better. I tend to do a lot of ordering online because I live in rural Southern Oregon, and a really small community that Fred Meyers does not supply everything I need all the time. See, essential oils. Those are really good for all sorts of stuff. You could use them for, if you're stuck in the house for a month, you want your house to smell good. You want your house to, feel good. And, there's certain things like lemon helps with, if you get the blues, if you feel like, oh, I can't be stuck in the house another day. There's different essential oils that you can check out. And this, again, could be a time when you kind of check things out. You might have ordering online be your best friend while you're stuck in the house for a month. Baking soda, super important. Baking soda should be flying off the shelf way more than other things. But baking soda is great for cleaning, brushing your teeth. If you ran out of toothpaste, baking soda is super awesome. You can use it for deodorizers, you can use it for cleaning, you can use it for a ton of things. So baking soda, we stocked up on baking soda. Hydrogen peroxide, it's not just for cleaning wounds. There's stuff you can clean in the house, you can do different things with it. I would definitely put hydrogen peroxide on my list. Apple cider vinegar, got a ton of this stuff. It's just good for shampoo, well, not shampoo, but you can use it on your hair, you can use it on quite a few different things. You can take it internally. I include apple cider vinegar a lot in a lot of different things. So that's one of the things that I would have on my list of things to order or to pick up that other people might be kind of like overlooking. And make sure you have enough food for your pets. I know this might seem like an obvious one. However, when you're thinking about feeding your kids, or you're thinking about feeding yourself and your spouse or whomever lives at your house, you might be thinking, well, we have enough for our pets. We have 2 large dogs, so I've ordered us over 60 pounds of dog food, so yay. And so some fun stuff, like Epsom salts. I tend to shower every day because it's quicker than taking a bath. Again, if you're at home, you're stuck at home, you get the time to take a bath. That you can soak in the tub, and Epsom salts feel really good. And especially if you kind of are just minorly sick, nice to take out away the aches and pains. And again, if you just have a minor, because some people are only coming down with minor symptoms, stuff like powdered electrolytes is really good, because otherwise buying huge bottles of Gatorade, as Gatorade has all sorts of things in it. There are electrolytes mixes that, like Ultimix, or Ultima, has nothing in it that's colored or weird in it. It's just straight out electrolytes that you need, not just heavy on sodium. And because some of Gatorade, I used to like Gatorade, but some of the colors they use, you kind of don't want to drink some of that stuff. And another thing that I forgot to add with emergency things was coconut oil. Coconut oil is used for so many things. You can use it for cooking. You can use it for all sorts of body care products. And it's also good for keeping your skin nice and smooth and, all different things. I would definitely put coconut oil on my list. And, the other thing too is salt deodorant. The salt crystal deodorant. It takes about a month for your body to get used to not using regular deodorant. So if you're stuck in the house for a month, salt crystal deodorant was super awesome, because you can get yourself kind of ready. And you can also break some of your habits. If you have if you drink too much beer or too much coffee, you can start weaning yourself off of it, by having alternatives. Have lots of tea bags or green tea or whatever it is, you know. And here's another thing. We want to think of a way to make this, especially if you have children, is make this fun. Make this seem like a good thing and not scared. You know, have your kids be part of planning if you have kids. And like, hey, you get a vacation with mom and dad, you know, and the same with adults. Have this be something fun. Have this be something that is a good thing. When my partner was going to test to become a psychotherapist, there was an incident that my partner was out of work for a couple months due to an injury, and got to study for the exam, and not having that time because the job that my partner had gave my partner time to be able to pass their exam. So there might be something online that you've been looking to study. I know being a personal trainer, being a yoga instructor, there's always courses that I could take online. Plus there's this place called Udemy that has a ton of courses, and normally like they'll have sales and you can take all sorts of courses for like $10.99 if you wait for a sale. I mean, they have stuff from accounting to music, you know, programming to all sorts of different things. So I have a huge list of things and wouldn't mind going over some of them. You know, sometimes it's a good way to, hey, maybe this is a time to also go inside and think, do I enjoy my life? Do I enjoy what I do? Would this be a time to change? You know, of course, I would recommend meditating. And this might be the perfect time for you to start your own YouTube channel. You know, we could be talking to each other every day on YouTube and telling each other how we're doing and enjoying things and sharing our lives. When I got the idea I got the intuitive nudge to come on YouTube, I thought, this is crazy. However, this might be the thing that keeps me sane during, you know, if we have to go into quarantine. Hey, and if you have musical instruments, you know, some people have a piano sitting at their house that they have no idea how to play. YouTube has lots of different things, if you don't want to go into something like Udemy, that you can learn to play an instrument. If you have an old pair of tap shoes, even if you don't know how to dance, this might be a time to get together with the people in your house and like, let's make a dance to this song. Let's, you know, I mean, let's do something. Books. This is, I mean, how many adults do I hear all the time that say, oh, I just don't have time to read. We've been so busy in our society, we don't have time to read. We don't have time to unwind. We don't have time to just relax and recuperate. Let's see, what do I else have on my list? This would be a time that if you have a garage that's completely full from bottom to rafters, this is a good time to reorganize. Reorganize your house too. This is a time to really turn inward and really focus on your family, yourself, what you need, and have your house set up in a way that if you're stuck in the house, you don't get cabin fever. We live in a place where there's times when it rains sideways for 3 weeks. So we pretty much have gotten used to, sometimes you don't get out of the house for 3 weeks at a time, or you don't see the sun. And our house is only 850 square feet, yet we have it set up in a way that if you step into one room, like this room is kind of a meditation room, and then right now the camera is sitting on top of, which is my phone, is sitting on top of my Pilates reformer. You know, I have a bunch of different things set up. I have, if you can see in the back, my computer, my laptop with my mic for recording the audio recordings for the subliminals and all those different things. But set up your house the way you like it. Maybe reorganize your house so that way when you go into a different room, you have a different experience. You know, get things the way you want them to be. Think about the things that, you know, when you have to go to work every day that you miss out on. The things that we used to do when we were kids in the summertime. I mean, as a kid, I could sit in the park with my friends for hours on end, doing absolutely nothing. You know, it just, I guess we were simpler back then, I'm sure. But like, we had like a game system, but you know, we were out until the lights went off, you know, until the street lights came on. We were outside, you know, or we'd hang out at somebody's house in a room or whatever. And this might be the time to reconnect with the people in your house. You know, we all now have FaceTime or Skype. Reconnect with other people. You know, this could be a time to organize and like, hey, your friends on Facebook are also stuck in their house. Why not chat them up? Why not get to know people? Why not, you can play games with people, you know, there's Words with Friends, but you could actually play something with your friends, you know, who knows, you know, get creative. This is a time to let your inner child run free, you know, enjoy yourself, you know, find a stack of DVDs that you love, you know, go to the library while you still can and go get yourself some books. Or there's this thing called Hoopla that's attached to libraries that you can rent audiobooks, ebooks, TV shows, and there's so many things now too. You can do Redbox, you can, you know, there's stuff for free. Load up your Netflix queue, you know, whatever it takes, just, you know, make this something great. Make this something that you're learning, or that you're growing, or that you're taking time and enjoying yourself. Because if you've got all those things planned, like I said, it might not even happen. And, you know, at least if you think, okay, I can handle this, you can go about your day without fear striking your heart, because that's going to lower your immune system. And, you know, like I said, at least if you get stuck in your house and you're feeling pretty good about it, because I love my house. I have my house set up that my favorite place to be is my house. You know, get plants. So like if you're missing outdoors, get a bunch of plants. Get plants you love. Get plants, I would suggest snake plants, because they're super easy to care for and they purify the air. And, you know, the other thing too is salt lamps and selenite towers. And those things kind of purify the air and keep the house feeling good. You know, this might be the time to learn tarot or get into astrology or read, again, the book that you haven't read, you know? I mean, whatever strikes your fancy. Get creative. And if you have any ideas, like I said, leave a comment down the bottom, and I wish the best for you and everybody around. And the other thing, please don't forget to, whether you pray, whether you meditate, whether you do energy work, please don't forget to send out energy prayers or whatever it is to people who are already stricken or to people who are vulnerable, because we're at risk of losing a huge generation of people that we love, our grandmothers, our uncles, our aunts, maybe our mothers and fathers, depending on how old you are. So just, you know, send out as much love as you possibly can, you know, just fellow travelers, you know, this is a journey. This is a whole different world, you know, and I know there's stuff with the stock market going on, and this can be really scary, but we don't have to have it be scary. We can plan for the worst and hope for the best and look for the advantage in all things. With reality transurfing, there's this thing called advantage. So when something bad happens, you stop and say advantage, and then you think of all these things, kind of a Pollyanna type of way of think of, well, what is the advantage in all this? I mean, death and destruction is not ever a pleasant thing. Don't get me wrong on this. However, if you can grow stronger, if you can grow from this, and again, not live in fear, I hope that's the case. All right, I will see you guys in a couple of days. Peace, love, namaste. Be well, my fellow travelers.